Okay, hello everyone. I wanted to make a quick presentation about AI. So as you know, I have a data science background, biochemistry and data science, and I manage a team of 40 grant writers. And I'm constantly talking with grant writers, prospective grant writers, medical writers, people who work at agencies, also people who do reviews, a lot of program officers. And one of the questions I get all the time is, should I use AI for medical writing? Or as a medical writer, should I use AI? This presentation is sponsored by Iron Fist Media. I'm Anna, as you already know. So let's get into it. What's my opinion? So basically, my opinion is considering the AI perspective and what's been developed until right now, until 2025 April. So in 2 months, with the rate that things are evolving, it might be that this changes. So this is what we know right now. Okay. So basically, my quick answer to this question is yes. Should you use AI as a medical writer? 100% yes, you should be using AI. You should get familiar with it. You should know its advantages. You should get really, really familiar with it. But you should not, especially on my area of federal grant writing, you should not be using AI to write the full proposal. You shouldn't be using AI to write your research plan, your specific aims. You should not. You can lean on AI to organize your data for other tasks. I'm going to talk about a few of the tasks I most commonly use AI for, but you should not. At this point, unless you purchase the OpenAI 100K a year PhD student level AI system, right now, as ChatGPT, as Perplexity, all of these platforms work, I would not use AI to write my proposal. But what you should be using AI for is, so for example, fact checking. So I review, I don't know, a week, dozens of proposals, white papers, new projects. So sometimes I read a project, I read the description, and something doesn't sound quite right. So I'm not sure if the information is accurate. I have doubts about the information that's been presented in a manuscript. So very quickly with AI, any of them, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude not so much, but the other ones, you can input asking, hey, are lemons really sour? And then it will tell you, according to the National Institute of blah, 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 lemons are indeed sour, and you can confirm the information. You can also cross-reference against reliable databases. So one of the common things I see is that people give me a white paper and all the claims they have are substantiated by opinions or by Google News, USA Today, Washington Post, so unreliable sources of information. So you can pick up exactly the same information and say, can you validate this information using .gov, .edu, and scientific websites? You can just tell it exactly what websites you want the AI to search. So you can cross-references very quickly something that was given to you from a non-reliable source and confirm that that information it's also in a reliable source. I see this a lot also on LinkedIn when people post data and they say an article from Science says so and so and so, and then I have to go to Science and find it, there's no reference. So with this, you can just copy that information and quickly check, So that's I think one of the great uses of AI that I use every week. Number two, so reviewing. So reviewing, there's several modalities on the reviewing side. So you could review something yourself, check for meaning, check that it's good, Checking for meaning is one of the things AI doesn't do so well, so it doesn't understand nuances. So if you have something that can mean two things, a same quote or a same expression, it doesn't understand it so well. It doesn't have the flexibility as a human being. So one of the things on reviewing is that I've been hearing more and more from reviewers, people who review papers, who review grants, that especially in the grants world, since the pandemic, there's much more applications. So people say, yeah, you know, I don't get paid enough to review 10 grants in one study section. So I just pop them into AI and I choose. So after you write whatever it is, you should pass your manuscripts through an AI platform to see if the AI understands what you mean. Because if it doesn't, you incur in the risk that the person who's going to evaluate it is going to use AI. So the AI is not going to understand it. You know, I know it's flawed. I know it's controversial, but people are doing it. So you should take advantage of the AI and make sure if you can rephrase something so it understands it better, you will do that. Another thing in the reviewing, so when now is not somebody reviewing your work, but you're reviewing other people's work. One thing I do a lot is interview people, review resumes, review credentials. So sometimes I want to make sure I'm fair across all the documents. So one great thing about AI is that you can create checklists, you can create criteria. So if I have to review 100 resumes by the 25th, I'm already rejecting. Everybody who presents me more than 10 pages has typos, doesn't, you know, articulate really well. I'm boom, rejecting. But I want to make sure I'm fair, so I can program AI to do an initial search, initial screening, and grade all the candidates using the same, this is an example, using the same criteria. Another thing that you should be using, not exactly AI, but software. I know some of them, like Grammarly, also have an AI feature, but you should be using some kind of software to review your spell check, right? So you should spell check. It's incredible the amount of mistakes when you write a lot, the amount of mistakes you can do because you're rushing, because you're clicking the wrong letters, you know. You might not see an extra letter there, and that will look terrible, especially if you're doing things like resumes and you're applying for medical writer positions. If there's typos on it, you know, that's a deal breaker. Then you should also, yeah, the firewall against reviewers, you use AI, we already talked about. So these are some of the applications I constantly use AI for, so you can imagine others with the same style that might be helpful for you. Gathering information. Imagine I had a project into quantum mechanics. I know something about it. I actually took two quantum mechanics classes when I was in college, but I'm not an expert on it. So I need to gather quickly information on that subject matter. I need to see if the claims that the researcher is giving me his white paper saying this is a huge problem that I'm trying to solve, and this is a thing that people in the field say is very important. I need to be able to fact check that without spending hours in the library. So AI is a great tool to do background research and fact check. So you can really quickly gather information on any subject that you need to check. And then, as I said before, you can even choose where do you want the AI to go pick the information. I do that also a lot in my personal life when I'm looking for books to read, and I read a great book about, so for example, woman leadership is a thing I'm very interested in, and I want to search Reddit, Goodreads, Amazon for similar books, so I can just tell him context. Check this same subject matter on these websites and give me a list of books that are similar to this one. Then create workflows to optimize your search and organize your ideas. You can make sure you're consistent. So if you have a task, a reviewing task or a reporting task that you do consistently, and you want always to be the same, use the same headlines, the same thing, you can 100% prompt AI to give you the workflow. So you just paste your data and it outputs exactly the format you want. There's no reason why you should be spending 20 hours writing for scratch something that it's always the same thing. That's like a form. It's like when you go to the doctor, it's their name, address, that can be automated. Another thing I do a lot, so a lot of my work is strategic. So I need to find experts who can participate in projects, clinical trials, manufacturing of medical devices. And sometimes I'm just missing that one expert who works on that type of medical device or who manufactures a piece that's in a certain, it's made of a certain metal, and there's like 2 people in the world who can do it. So AI is a great tool to find experts and to detail exactly the credentials you want for the people you want. If you want to find somebody and you want them to be a high credential person, it's likely that AI can help you in your search. Another thing that the new AIs do a lot, especially ChatGPT is really good at this. And I compared last week a few of the ones who do videos and images, and ChatGPT is the one, unless you make more than 500 images a month, ChatGPT is one of the best packages. So for 20 bucks a month, you can get visualizations, images, videos that can really showcase the idea you're trying to portray, very easily, just prompting it. So if you need to create visualizations, graphics, images, you don't have too much time, but you want to convey the idea, you can use 100% ChatGPT to create it, or on other AIs. Claude is excellent on this. There's even Claude you can get images and explain and tell her to explain to you what is in that image. So you can get a prototype from somewhere, from a machine that you don't understand, with explanation, and tell her to explain you like you're really for dummies, and she will do a great job. I saw a video that people did that with IKEA instructions. So she explains with just the images. She says, okay, go pick up this and put it in that and the piece, and she really explains the images instead of you having to look at it and see, oh, piece A goes into piece B and this is the size. She can explain you in words instead of images. Another thing, slide decks with AI. You can make, you don't need to use the boring presentation. You can just create a new design. You just say what you want. I want a white background with a green thing, like the one I have here, and you can create it. You can also create movies and logos for your personal brand. So imagine you're writing something for a hospital and you want to explain the organization of the institution. So you have the directors, you can create 2 logos for the people. Then you have the doctors, you can create a little doctor logo to put in your presentation. Then the nurses, you can create a little nurse logo, just make it visualize, and it will create everything for you. So you can really enrich your presentations with very minimal effort. Yeah, so this was sponsored by Iron Fist Media. I hope it's helpful.